Yo, 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 welcome everybody to TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing, and welcome to round number 6 here in the silver class for the British Grand Prix. And if I stick my head outside my window here and do the old wind test with the finger, it seems to be raining outside. We got about a 5-mile-an-hour wind to the east. It is myself, Seafreeze, here tonight, taking you guys through tonight's proceedings. We are live on both the YouTube and the Twitch. Encourage you guys to watch on your preferred platform. And as always, we are in Season 15. It is only myself here tonight, so we're going to need everybody's help. Definitely bring those comments in, questions, concerns. Let's have some fun. We were off last week with an off week. We're back for round number 6, and it is one of my favorites. It's the British Grand Prix. It's been on the TCR's calendar for every single season. I believe it's the only track to be on the calendar every single season. The British Grand Prix, in my opinion, is the staple of the motorsports of Formula One. It's the central hub of motorsport and open wheel racing, in my opinion. And it truly is one of the best tracks in motorsports. For me, it's one you want to win. And the crowd that they usually get here at Silverstone is usually up there with crowds like Monza or Monaco. I think even Coda in the Americas is pretty nice. Upon many others. Australia, another good one there. Tons and tons of people go to these races, but it's the British Grand Prix, in my opinion, that is just unlike no other. There's a different sense of sport when you go to this place. A lot of the fans are very knowledgeable, and we're going to have a nice race here tonight. So a little bit of that. British Grand Prix, round number 6. We'll go through the championship standings here. In the Drivers' Championship, it is still Camden Luca and the Alfa Romeo with 117 points, followed by J&B, who is here tonight in the Haas. He's at 84 points. 1 point behind him is Carson, who is here tonight in the AlphaTauri. 62 points in 4th place is El Capitan in the Haas. And rounding up in P number 5 is F1 Nerd in the Red Bull with 48 points. As for the constructors, we have the Alfa Romeo team of Camden Luca and Chabar. These are your reigning and defending champions here in TCR Silver Class. Alfa Romeo's won last year the Constructor Championship. They're leading at 153. Haas, which is J&B and El Capitan, at 146. AlphaTauri at 102. That's Carson and the Big Toblerone. And at P4 you have F1 Nerd at 48 points in Red Bull. If you want to find out more standings, you can join the Discord down below. You get access to all of the points in the Discord, as well as steward incidents, announcements, all stuff TCR. We're the most active in our Discord. As CJ goes P number 2. We only have 13 here tonight, although I will say we do have the, I guess the drivers that matter, right? I mean, these are the drivers, all the contenders up front. You got all your championship contenders, and even in the constructors between the top 3 teams, which is Haas, Alfa Romeo, and AlphaTauri. Although the Aston Martins are looking good here because you have Oreo, who just went P4, now P5. As I think F1 Nerd slotted in to P number 3 here. We do still have some seats available. We still have 10 more rounds, so if you obviously you wouldn't be joining this one, so you would have 9 more rounds to finish off this season. And to finish off this game cycle, if you're interested in joining, you can still join. This is the silver class. This is going to be your mixed assist tier. You can run a few different assist levels, although you do need to run manual, at least medium traction, and ABS is allowed, racing line is allowed. And this is good for those who have limited league experience or very minimal or even no league experience. But you do still need to hit a threshold with testing. I know we had a few sign-ups, and some might be wondering why they didn't get in. Is because you need to hit a certain lap time to actually get on the grid at least. So it is we basically have a competitive line base at the bottom, so you kind of have to meet a target. This way you can get on, but there's still a few seats. We do have that, I think now it's $5 entry fee to help support with the trophies that will be handed out. And for those watching, Blinn got the trophies from last season. And once again, last season was our first time doing it. Trophies will be coming, and for this season they'll be coming a lot sooner. So apologies for that once again. Carson goes P2. I think he was there. That's my apologies. Chabar goes P4. That was a nice lap. So we're getting a few more people in. I hope everybody's doing well after the break. For me, I don't know about you guys, but it was well needed. Oh, Chabar went for a spin. I hope he doesn't get stuck in the grass. And he gets on out just fine. For me, wet qualifying is really fun because you can put some intermediate tires on, bump up the fuel a little bit, and you just kind of go out there and log laps, right? I don't think many people practice the wet. Maybe you would practice it minimally, very, very small amount of laps if you're going to a track that typically does rain. Britain is one of those tracks that you could get some spotty showers. I know those British fans are, they know that there's a spotty shower, so it could be a track you might want to do a few laps on, but every lap you do, you're gaining a lot of knowledge. And there's Toblerone. He's in 8th right now, but he just did a purple middle sector. But I think he's going to back out of it, is interesting. We could have had a little timing and scoring glitch. Looks like he's coming into the pit lane. Let's go on board. We got Halberg, the McLarens. Unfortunately, they're back towards the rear in this field. Almost like real F1 right now. McLarens, oh man. I hope Lando can get a good car underneath him. He's a great driver. Lando Norris. And here's my hot take. He's got a few more years at McLaren. Now, I could see him going to Audi when they enter the sport in 2026 for the new engine regulations. Because I think a lot of the teams will be booked by then. Although Formula One, it's an industry, it's a industry that things change all the time, constantly. So I don't know if he'll, maybe McLaren will be doing a lot of good developments by then, or other seats will open up, but I don't know. At the moment, I could see that happening. That'd be pretty cool. A little bit of a hot take. That's alright though. Carson to the line with 7 minutes left on the qualifying, goes provisional. about a tenth and a half over J and B. I believe this is the first time that we have a wet session at all in Silver Class, I know. I don't believe there was any other wet conditions. I don't even know if there's been any wet conditions in this season. But the old memory banks aren't doing me too well, especially with that off-lead. I need to slide in very nicely to start remembering things. Although I do remember one thing. It's this guy, Camden Luca. He's your championship leader. And it's kind of hard to negate that because he's had such a great first third of the season. Finishing on the podium of all 5 races, grabbing 3 wins. Very consistent this season. Let's see what Camden Luca could do. Remember, he had a bunch of pole positions last season. He started to pick up a few in the first third. Let's see if he'll add to the total, to the line. P3 into the 39, first driver to do so. Raikkonen says in the YouTube comments, do you have any info on the race weather freeze? Unfortunately, they don't give me that information. I get as much as you guys do. No, I don't have any sources tonight. Nobody tells me nothing. I've got nothing. Although it could be better that way. Let's go in blind, right? Although from my experience, when it does rain in quali, it usually is a somewhat dry race. Although we've had races here. I remember we had a 100% race in Platinum a few years ago, I think season 11. Full wet. Full wet. It was a fun race though, but it was challenging, let me tell you. F1 Nerd, he was up by a second. If this delta is clear and correct, he'll go pole, and yes he does, and wow. Oh wow. F1 Nerd's been studying. That, my man, is a good lap. Either that or the track is ramping up. I think it's starting to. Let me stick my head out the window again. Yeah, it's coming down a little lighter than before in the session. You can see maybe a little bit of a dry line starting. It is still raining, but you still see the droplets. But I do believe this will ramp up quite nicely. I really doubt it'll get to any dry point in this session, because we're only under 4 minutes to go. Camden, I believe, is still on a lap. He just did one lap to put himself P2, 39.1. He's still sticking it in there. Speedy Gunner, nice lap from him. P3, he'll fall down to P4 as CJ goes provisional over a 10th. So yeah, this track is ramping up a little bit. The clouds are separating. The gods are coming from the top. This is gonna be a good one. Now I love this Aston Martin, let me tell you. I might be biased, but CJ, we can't hop into this Aston Martin with the base helmet. I mean, we could do better as Aston Martin drivers. We have to do better. CJ, he he hopped in the Aston Martin and he said, nah, I'm not spending another however extra for the custom seats. I'll keep everything base stock, let me tell you. He said, nah, I'll just buy the car, keep everything stock. Yeah, I respect it. Carson seems to be starting a lap as he's got the battery juiced up. J&B 0.6 up on his time now, 1.4 as he crosses sector 2, timing and scoring line. J&B is one to watch. To the line, it was Toblerone, but now it's J&B as he goes a tenth quicker. The track's really ramping up here. The next to cross the line is going to be J&B's teammate of Capitan. He's going to go P6. In the meantime, we'll check for checking. No improvement there. He might be starting another lap time. We have a few McLarens to cross over. It's going to be first is Halberg. He's sitting P13 at the moment. If he's got a nice clean lap underneath him, this will improve him. Yes, it does. P3. And his teammate will follow suit in the orange McLaren. He'll go quicker, but no position improvement. He'll be P12. F1 Nerd, he's been strong earlier on. I think he's just going to start his lap time now. Carson has an invalid lap time. Camden Luca also invalid, but he might be able to get into the line in time. He's got the AlphaTauri in front of him, though. You got to be careful. You don't want to spin in here. 4, 3, 2. Yeah, he's clear. CJ was not, though. He finished P3. J&B is coming into the pit lane. We got Oreo. 1.1 seconds up on his time. I love the helmet. He didn't go stock for that one. That's P5 for Oreo. Capitan. Drain the battery to the line. It goes P4, second row of the grid. We are checking. Should be able to slot himself up to P9, and yes, he does. Bags won't get it done here. We got Halberg. This could be a nice lap up on the time. Yeah, he gets up one more position to P4. And they keep on coming. F1 Nerd is next across the line. P3 goes the Red Bull driver. Bags invalidated on the final corner. Carson invalidated. What about Camden Luca? He's still clean. He's got the AlphaTauri in front of him. But to start P8 is not ideal in this mixed weather conditions of a qualifying session. Camden Luca, your championship leader, will go P1 for pole position. Camden Luca gets it right at the end. 2/10 over the field. That is pretty clutch at the end, I will say so myself. He will start from the front row of the grid. Got some comments coming in here. What up, Jippo? Thanks for tuning in. Good stuff, Speedy. Now focus up. I want to see you have a good race here tonight. Oh, Jonah. Yeah, you gotta focus on schoolwork. That's very important. Very important. Alright, so is it going to be wet? Is it going to be dry? Sunny with a chance of rainy meatballs? Overcast. Overcast conditions. This could go either way, folks. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Check the description for more information on TCR. We still have some seats in the silver class. If anybody knows a guy, send them our way. Let's finish off this game cycle strong. We got the golden class tomorrow, platinum class on Thursday for those classes British Grand Prix. Another interesting thing, just to kind of point out, we have another 5 more races in this little middle stint, if you want to say, in the schedule. Whoever's top 5 in all classes championships will go to the All-Star race, which is kind of in that second off week. So in another 5 races, we'll have the All-Star race, but it's crucial. In order to qualify, you need to be top 5 in the driver's standings. Unless you get a wild card entrant to get you to the All-Star race. So that will be another fun event in due time. But for the time being, it is prediction time. And Charles picks everybody. What are you, Mike Joy? Mike Joy, the NASCAR, he picks organizations. He picks teams for the ones to watch. Charles opts for the whole field. I like it. I can't say I don't like it. I have to like it. Prediction time. Top 3 in the comments. You got to put them now, otherwise they don't count. And I'm gonna go with my guy, Camden Luca. I think he will do quite well here. He was telling me that his first technical win was here a few seasons ago, in season 12, I do believe he said. But it got removed because we had the regular corner cutting. And he cut a little bit on the old pit straight, and he had that invalid and got a grid drop, so he actually lost, but crossed the finish line first. I don't think he's taken a British Grand Prix since. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do think he'll get it done here today as Camden Luca. I like F1 Nerd for P number 2. I think he'll keep it clean. I think penalties will be a factor here. J&B and Toblerone are quick. I just don't know if they'll be able to stay penalty free or spin free. I'm gonna put F1 Nerd P2. And you can't go against the captain, Capitan in the Haas. He is pretty good with the podiums. We talk to him almost every week, and I hope to be talking to him later on today. Got a few comments. A lot of people picking Camden. That's great. Good stuff. We have 26 laps to decide it. This is round number 6 of the silver class, the British Grand Prix. C-Freeze with the call here in season 15. Let's do it. And that AlphaTauri doesn't move at all. He turned a flip-flop. Camden gets overrided right off the bat. He doesn't go anywhere. J&B will lead this race. F1 Nerd gets the flyer this time by. Usually it's Carson. F1 Nerd got a good start to this race. Camden starting pole position. Now has to do some work as he's got Speedy Gunner on the back and he taps him. And now Camden is all under pressure. This is disaster for the Alfa Romeo as he is now under pressure by El Capitan. For P number 6, there's looks to be some battles up ahead. You can see it's CJ and it's F1 Nerd going side by side, as well as the Haas and Bags, who goes around the outside of Capitan. go to Cops here. Capitan gets the position. CJ takes on P2. Wow, what an interesting first lap, and it's only halfway. Back there, Toblerone, he didn't get moving at all on the opening lap. He'll get another position there. I don't know what happened. He didn't move at all. It was a very delayed start. Does Oreo have any damage? It doesn't look to be. Everyone should be going green. This is a definite one stop. If it stays green, you cannot win or do anything. We're on a two stop here. Speedy looking for P3. He'll send it on F1 Nerd. Kind of hits the red curbing there. Lucky it didn't send him into the Red Bull. And he'll get a little bit of help with the slipstream. No DRS as of yet. Nice visuals there. Good camera angles. Speedy gets it. A little bit of a Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel moment from a few years back. But this time it'll be... In this scenario, it would be Fernando Alonso who would get that position. Speedy is up one. Carson on the inside of F1 Nerd and Cops. There goes Camden. Through goes Camden. Maggots and Beckett's. Got a yellow flag. That's going to be Toblerone. And good thing I didn't pick him just yet for my podium. He's got to stop these spins if he wants to get solid points. It just really ruins your race. He is down to 12th after having a decent starting position. But a few laps just sends him right back to the rear. Nice little group here starting at the Speedy trains. All aboard Speedy. Here's in P3. Here's Carson. Should get the run on Speedy. DRS now active, and he gets by very easily. Although it goes a little bit wide, Speedy now will have an opportunity. I think the thing for Speedy is to just try and stick with Carson the best you can. Try to maximize your race here. Up in front is J and B. Start on the front row, has a nice little gap he's working with. CJ also has a nice little gap, pulling away from the pack behind him. CJ has the speed if he puts this race together. don't know. He could be challenging, man. CJ. In the stock Aston Martin, I like it. Camden Luca goes ahead of Speedy. Also goes a little deep. It's going to give Speedy the run. And yeah, this is a big dive on Speedy. A little bit of contact. I don't know if these are the rule. I don't know what rule book Speedy's looking at, but if I was out there, I'd put some bubble wrap on my car when I'm next to Speedy. I don't know. I am in an Aston Martin this year, so I know the Aston Martins are quite beefy as we come down the Wellington Straight into Brooklyn. So the light is blinking on Speedy. Cam will go around the outside of Brooklyn's into Luffield. Almost contact there. Speedy gets the run. He tried into Cops. He's missing a lot of apexes, Speedy. Oh! Oh, that looked like contact on my screen, but I don't think it was. And yeah, I don't blame Camden for swerving there. He's got to make sure he stays ahead of Speedy. And he's got no battery. Speedy's all out. And now, what are you going to do for the rest of the race? I don't understand fighting these positions necessarily, but it's racing. Is it smart racing? I don't think so. But it's racing. Now that's some smart racing. F1 Nerd, 54% on the battery. Kind of managing his race. Although I will say, this is some entertaining stuff. I mean, that's some pretty good, good fight. Typically, the British Grand Prix tends to be a slipstream train battle. And can be very hard to overtake because of that. And you'd think, oh, the British Grand Prix, the British, you know, the Silverstone, it's not too hard to overtake. No, it's easy if you get a nice run out of this S section and the car in front doesn't have any battery or DRS. Oh, another spin for Toblerone. He'll be running up the rear. But when you're in a nice little DRS train, at Silverstone, it can be very difficult to overtake. The other thing is the tire wear here isn't too bad at all. So the difference between the tires and the grip you get, the undercut so to speak, or the overcut, it doesn't really work too well. But it could work. I mean, if you're in a DRS train and you pit one lap earlier than the rest of the guys, it could definitely work because you're playing with tenths. But you're not going to gain a huge second and a half undercut. Watching the battle for P number 5. Speedy got a penalty. I suspect an F1 Nerd overtake down the hangar straight. But he's not using any battery. Now he is. It's a little too late though. Yeah, that's it's almost a half-hearted move there by F1 Nerd. He didn't think he had the distance, and then, oh, he might just do it here. Yeah, there you go. You need a... That was easy. From Staples. We need to get the... Oh, here comes Speedy. Back again. Dive bombs him, Speedy. He'll have the inside for the next one. It's all about the exit here onto the Wellington Straight. And it should be nice and easy for F1 Nerd. Great battles. Around the outside, Speedy still sticks it around into left field now. It's gonna be tight. And you got El Capitan in the back thinking he wants to get through too. He wants to play too, guys. F1 Nerd finally gets the position through cops around the outside as Speedy had to lift there. Didn't have that momentum going through. And I think F1 Nerd should be clear because here comes Capitan. Yeah, Sertro says Speedy might be favoring the Haas's here. Hey, it is, they do run the same team, but, yeah, you definitely don't want to, oh, that's a nice camera shot right there. Sheesh! You don't want to be thinking too much about other people's races. If you're not focused on yourself, then you shouldn't be here in the first place. That's my opinion. But I don't know, did Ryan Newman ever help anybody win a championship? I don't know. That's an honest question. Did he? Oh, there's a little bit of... We're going to see some rain? I thought I might have saw a sprinkle. But... it might have been a spark. That could have been a spark from Baggs' car in front. You can see they're flying all over the place. So we have a nice little pack here, and the leader of it is F1 Nerd. Nice little game of tag here. I guess Speedy would be it. Tag, you're it. They're all running away. But nonetheless, really good battling. I was pretty impressed. Aggressive, for sure. I'm more of a results type of guy. I'd rather win or get a really good result. So I'd rather race nobody, and I'd rather overtake guys in the pit lane. In strategy. That's my way of doing it. But, and speaking about the pit lane, here comes J&B. He will be the first to pit. CJ follows him in, as does Cam DeLuca at the end of lap 10. All medium runners will go on to the hard tire. That'll get them to the end of the race. That brings Carson. He was closing in on CJ. I don't think he was able to overtake him. I don't believe so. He's the lone leader here. Let's see where J&B comes out. Oh, contact again! And look who it's contact with. J&B and Toblerone. Remember, these guys had contact at Brazil. More of the doing of J&B because he got a time penalty, which costed J&B the race win. And he came again with more contact. It doesn't seem like he has damage. It doesn't seem... Oh, Toblerone's giving him a bump. I don't know. And probably not intentional because they were going side by side, but I don't know if anybody has any chipped wings. But Toblerone's running hot. And hey, I know what you mean. I feel you. Mistake by J&B. That's going to close the gap that he had as CJ is right behind the Haas. And J&B still not passed. We are checking. You see the light blinking. He's down on the battery. Here, this brings CJ into the mix. Carson also just pitted. We'll see where he comes out. I have a feeling he could be maybe ahead. Let's see. It's going to be close. Just ahead of J&B. More contact. And he sends it. Remember, his tires aren't warm yet. Oh, and more contact. Man, what is happening in this pit sequence? CJ contact with, I believe, we are checking. Man. Carson had the track position over J&B, but obviously he didn't have tire temps. But J&B sent it on one of the AlphaTauris in a lap earlier. It didn't work. He had contact with Toblerone. That time he had contact with Carson, but luckily they didn't spin. Man. And a good move by the big Toby, as Charles says. That was a good move. He was running hot, Charles. He was running hot. He was probably pissed that he spun with the contact. And he didn't give you know what's about it. Let me go back. I think this means Camden Luca will be your net P3, and he is within the DRS of Carson, who is his closest. Is it his closest? Let me see. No, J&B is his closest rival at 84 points. Carson with 83. We have a yellow flag. That will be Halberg. Nope. Bags. Bags. Went for a nice spin. Oreo is now, because he started on the hard tire, he is a little bit in traffic, so to speak. Toblerone's still in pit, so these two are still running long. I suspect Toblerone will be pitting soon. Here comes Toblerone around the outside for another one. And he gets it. And he comes into the pit lane. Oreo continues on. Here's J&B. He'll go side by side through Abby. Whew! Nice little move there. Oreo kind of gets out of the way for Carson, who is knocking on the back door. Camden is another driver to get past Oreo, who is on those older tires. Nice helmet. I think I said that earlier, but there's a nice close-up. Man, these guys are really going for it. All of those contacts and little spins now makes it a three-way fight for the win, as it seems, but Bags is out of the race. It looks like contact with Toblerone, and it's going to be, I believe this is a VSC. this will help Speedy tremendously. I would pit if I were you. Yes, he is. Don't speed, don't speed, don't speed. He doesn't. Good. Yeah, I don't know. People saying that's a race-winning move. I don't know if he's talking about Speedy with the VSC. He's going to gain some time here. I don't think he's going to get the track position, but he's gaining a lot more positions than if he rather would have pitted under the green, if that's what you were referring to. Although he goes onto the wrong tire. The softs are not going to be the tire you want to be on, in my opinion. A lot of drivers pitting here. I think we have Oreo, who was also just stood out, so that's going to help him recover a little bit of positions. But that puts Speedy P4 on the soft tire, ahead of CJ. Oh, contact! Carson! I don't know if there's contact, but there was definitely a spin. Uh-oh. Whoa-oh. So that brings it down to a 1v1. There had to have been contact because Camden is about 1.6. Unless he took avoiding action. Not too sure. And I didn't really catch it. I didn't really expect there to be much contact up at the front. I don't know if there was. I'm speculating. Here comes Capitan on CJ, who has to pit. Broken front wing. He probably hit it off you-know-who. And I don't know if he's going to call it quits or not. But it's unfortunate. CJ had some good speed here today. I don't know exactly what happened in that the pit sequence. I think he went for that spin. But I'm rooting for him to continue. It looks like he will for the time being. Closest battle on track is El Capitan and F1 Nerd. Now, if we look at the penalties, it's 9 seconds for Speedy Gunner. So, Speedy is effectively, if you look at the leader, I mean, he's going to be battling probably around P7, because Halberg also has another 5 seconds. So, Chabar is in contention to get that one position over Speedy. If it stays like that. Capitan looks racy, and who else looks racy? Camden Luca just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 131.182. He did not have DRS on that time, but he is reeling in J and B. They both have this. They both pitted at the same time, so they're gonna have even tires. And I think they're quite reasonably the same amount of speed, so this could go down to the wire between the top two. I'd definitely love to see what happened with Carson. That I don't know if it was a mistake. I know he had some mistakes earlier on in the season. I remember going back to Australia. Toblerone fastest lap on some new rubber. 1:30.2, I believe. Charles says that I think the stewards are going to be busy this week. Yeah, could be. Good thing I'm not a steward. But I appreciate all those who are stewards, volunteering your time. There's Capitan close to F1 Nerd. And the big battle here, we'll have to go to the top here for the time being. I wish we were able to do a little split screen action, because I would love to have this battle, and I'd love to have F1 Nerd and Capitan on the little screen as well. If we had the same graphics as F1, I wish we would be able to put the second screen by the standings. I think would be really cool. You know how they kind of like separate the standings? So like, for example, you would go to F1 Nerd El Capitan and it would show they're on board or something. I think that'd be pretty cool, but are they gonna do it? No. But Capitan will make the move up to P5. Will inherit P4. Looking at the battery, about 30% for J and B. 54 for Camden. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in on both the YouTube and Twitch, but more specifically on the YouTube. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button. It definitely helps support TCR, and it's one simple click. Helps us very much. It'd be much appreciated. Don't forget we have Golden Class tomorrow, Platinum Class on Thursday. Don't forget to tune in for Platinum. Those races have also been come down to the wire. So that is Wednesday and Thursday, same time, same place. Look back at the lead with Camden, Luca, and J and B. Camden looks down the inside, but doesn't fully commit. It was just to kind of see what was going on, kind of get a lay of the land. Remember, for those who might not have been here for the first few laps, it was Camden Luca who had pole position. He had a bad start, went down to P3. He had a contact with Speedy, which kind of pushed him off the track. He went down to about 5th to 7th, somewhere around there, probably 7th place. He fought his way back, and now he's challenging for the lead as F1 Nerd gets past Capitan for 5th. Four-tenths the gap, getting close down to the wire. This is when you're trying to think what you want to do when you're closing in on this race. Do you want to be the attacker, the aggressor? Do you want to be the defender? Do you want to be leading this race? Do you want to be controlling your destiny? It seems he gets very close at the end of the hanger straight into Stowe. And I think if he really wants to, Camden will dump the battery and get past, but I think he's content just riding around a few more laps, put a little bit of pressure on J and B. He's got about half the battery that Camden has. honestly, you're probably going to have to put a whole question mark around whoever wins this race until we find out what happened with Carson, because it seems Camden Luca could have had contact with Carson, but it could have just been a mistake by Carson. I think apart from that question mark, Camden is clean. But you also then have to look at J&B, because he's had contact with both AlphaTauris. And if he's submitted, will he get a penalty? So what if they both get a penalty? Then maybe it could be Carson. So there's a little bit of a gray area when it comes to the winner of this race. But we'll get more of that info in the post-race interviews. So don't forget to stick around and keep tuning in for that. If anyone has any questions you want me to ask the top three, we don't know it yet, but leave it in the comments below. I'll try to ask them. Going down, a couple laps left in this thing. J&B is on a wheel. Camden Luca, controller. Typically, the British Grand Prix is a wheel track. Although the controller gets some nice traction zone. Tractions out of certain corners. But I think on this game it kind of evens out. It's not so bad. In previous games you could really tell the difference. There we go. These two, F1 Nerd and Speedy again. Little wheel banging. Speedy's tires must be really worn at this stage. Can he go around the outside of Cops? No, he cannot. He'll get the switch back. Up front of the lead is very close as well. Nerd will go inside. Capitan 3 wide down the straight. And it's Capitan who gets the position. Great move by Capitan. He'll take fourth outright on track, but it's not over between these three, let me tell you. About 4 laps left. I don't think we've seen a charge from, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, snap. We are checking. We'll see if he's okay. We are checking. Copy. Alright, we've received word. We are checking is A-OK. But we have a safety car on lap 23 of 26. If that was real F1 nowadays, that would have been a red flag. Ladies and gentlemen, we're starting this thing up again. Camden pits. Carson stays out. He's got to adhere to the delta until he crosses that start-finish line. He's adhering to it. Now he can crank the throttle. He'll get P2. And let's see. Does Camden Luca go? Will he get... Is he going to get ahead of the Haas? The Haas is coming. He's going. Yep. So Camden will be 4th. But on soft tires. Wow. It's not certain this might come in at the end of this lap. Maybe lap 25, so what are you going to get? 1 lap in? Yeah, Charles, you spoke too soon. You spoke too soon. This thing ain't over yet. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. That's interesting. Is the speed limit different? It is. Let me tell you, it's a slow pit lane on the game. It should not be. It's in this lap. Oh, here we go. I gotta get a sip of water. Stay hydrated, folks. It's about to get real. Realistically, the top 4 have a shot to win this race. I think J&B with the track position is going to be hard to beat. But with 2 laps, Camden really has 0 pressure from behind. Halberg has that penalty. If Speedy was lining up behind him, I'd be nervous. But I don't think he's going to get to them. Here we go. This is the start. 2 laps left in the British Grand Prix. Round number 6 of the silver class. And there's a lapped car in the way. Who didn't go at all? Oh, Capitan. Is he trying to slow him down? I don't know about... No. He's doing a little too much there, Capitan. A little too much. That's going to be a big penalty there, in my opinion. I think so. Up at the front. I don't know why Tolbarone is sticking there, because he's just going to give J&B the DRS. Well, there's no DRS. What am I talking about? I'm getting too excited. I don't know what the DRS is. It should be all the time. But I don't think he'll need it. Carson. Ooh, he messed up a little bit there. He's coming out on the exit. And he's dumping the battery. Coming down the anger straight. Next time round, be one more time. And here comes Camden Luca with 1 lap to go. Will it be? If you believe, it could happen. You just have to believe. Oh, it's the purple 3rd sector. And he's going to be jumping through hula hoops. He's coming through. Watch for the dive. And he's draining the battery. Duck your head for the extra speed. Whoa, around the outside of Camden. He's going to have to send it. Oh, he gets clipped off. It's the traction, though. You can't hold him off forever. And he lifted. Camden lifted. Big defense by Carson. And this is just going to give J&B the win here, but he lifts again, Camden. He allows Carson to go for it. This is going to be a hot, spicy interview, let me tell you. Coming down to the stove. Carson's gonna send it. No, he doesn't. He still has a shot. He just needs a good exit. He's got his teammate out in front, holding him off. It's gonna be J&B, followed by Carson and then Camden. Good battles, but it's gonna be J&B to win the British Grand Prix. Wow. Good stuff at the end there. Halberg in 4th. Oh, Capitan in 4th. This is all before penalties. And as mentioned, earlier in the stream, this is going to be a busy week to be a steward. Come on, CJ, you can get him. Here comes CJ. Honestly, he could be up on the podium with all the He finishes P9. It's P10 for Oreo. Round of applause. Oh, that's interesting. They give a 20-second time penalty if you can't do a drive-through. I actually didn't know that the game did that. If there wasn't enough time, I guess. Wow. That was fun. That was fun. That was a good ending. Initial thoughts before we get these guys in. Firstly, you got to stick around because this is going to be. We've seen some heated interviews with Camden. He's going to be pissed, and I think he's going to be calling Capitan out on that one. So you have to tune in for that one. My initial thoughts: the safety car was crazy ending. I think I think some people are doing a little too much with the team aspect of it. You know, we've seen Capitan race all race long, clean as a whistle, and you know, just so happens he then has contact with the guy with soft tires. You know, going in at the end, the championship leader, and your boys up there. Leading the race. Also his son, if I do an FYI. It seems a little sketchy, not gonna lie. It won't give you much fans. And I think that really ruined Camden Lucas' shot. I think if he really wanted to, Camden could have made a great move on Carson, but as a champion, which he's not, but he's working towards, and he's still the championship leader after this round, he needs to finish races. And every single race he's been on the podium so far. It could have been more. If there was no safety car, it would have been P2. And he could have had a shot at the win. But that's just that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know? That's how the cookie crumbles. But I'll have to, as always take a second look. I'll have to take a second look at the contact with Camden and Capitan. And we'll have to see and go through all of this, because what a way to come back. I mean, that just proves you don't really need to have 20 drivers at some stage. I think if we had 20, it would have been worse. I wouldn't have caught everything. Although there is still some seats available, so definitely try and tune in. Try to sign up. I'm going to go to the theater here and get these guys in. Get you guys some interviews. Golden class tomorrow. Platinum class on Thursday. Don't forget to come on back. Have some fun. Hope you enjoyed tonight. Support the video. Check the description for more information. All that good jazz. Just have to add these guys in. Your channel, connect and speak. Although I guess someone always says it could have always been worse, right? It could have always been worse. There we go, everybody's going in. And we will get going. Hopefully the others followed. I saw that you guys were in the other lobby. Here we go, everybody's coming on in. Wow, that is a race to digest. We will start with P3 in the Alfa Romeo of Camden Luca. He was the pole sitter here today. Had a shot at the end between JB and himself. Late race safety car came out, and he opted to pit for some fresh soft tires. Didn't fully play out. And just to reiterate, this is before the penalties or steward investigations. So if anyone's watching who's not in the Discord already, if you want to see how these things shake out, you'll have to join the Discord and see the actual stewards' decisions when they get posted. Yeah. How'd it go, Camden? I feel like this could be good. Give him a look. We got a copy. Camden?
Muted.
I gotta check the rules. Make sure.
He's showing muted for me.
Muted. Alright. He's gone camera shy. No, I'm kidding. Camden, we got a copy? One more time? We cannot hear you. You might be muted. Maybe you went to grab a water. Alright, we'll circle back here. We'll go to P2, the AlphaTauri of Carson. What happened? I mean, it was a crazy race. I think you saw everything. Oh, I think Camden's back. Camden's back. Camden? I think he might have some issues with it. Oh. I don't hear nothing. Alright, we'll go with Carson first, as Camden will figure it out. Camden, Carson, oh my gosh, I got Camden, Carson, Camden, everybody's confusing me now. Talk us through what happened.
Hello?
Oh, never mind, we'll go to Camden now. Camden, Carson, Camden, we have you.
Yep.
Alright, I don't know if you heard anything, but, what I said.
Nope.
But,
Nope.
man, what happened? What did we witness?
Well, first of all, I think the mic difficulties kind of sums everything up, doesn't it? I mean, sums up my race at least right from the start, man. You know, I will say these last couple minutes have given me a bit to calm down a little bit, I guess, because that was really bad, Seafreeze. I started right from the start. I just had way too much wheel spin off the line, couldn't get going, got passed by 5 people, was having to battle Speedy there for a little bit, which kind of sucked. But once I got by him, I was the fastest car on the track. Things were looking really good. I caught up to JMB right before the safety car came out. I was going to make my move. I was within 0.3 of him right before the back straight. Had some battery saved up, was going to make the move, was probably going to get by him, and we had another back marker cause a safety car again this week, so that's wonderful. The thing with Capitan, I've already looked at the replay. I was below the racing line going into the corner, so he's getting another penalty this week. But I understand.
Who was that?
Capitan.
Capitan, gotcha.
Yep. He turned down into me, so I'll submit him. And look, I understand the relationship between he and JMB. If I were in his shoes, I would be doing everything I could to help JMB win, but you can't just go and wipe everybody out and manipulate a race and expect to get away with it. As simple as that. It's one thing if it happens once, but when you do it to the same guy 2 weeks in a row in the same circumstance, that's not how you race. So, Capitan, I've said it before, he's a good driver. He's got a lot of pace. I think he and JMB are probably the favorites to win the Constructors just because you have two number one drivers on that team. But you just can't wreck everybody. You can't drive through everybody. I gave him respect. I feel like I give everybody respect, but sometimes you don't get that back, and that sucks. I really feel like I was a lot faster this week compared to Abu Dhabi, and coming away with no wins in either race is just disappointing.
All right. I don't know what else I was going to say. Before the safety car was coming out, it seemed like you were kind of saving the battery there. Were you just waiting to do your attack? What was your kind of approach before that safety car came out? And why did you opt to go on to the soft tire rather than maybe stick out once you saw JMB stay out?
I mean, I caught up to them. I was able to get up to them after being taken out intentionally. So it was the right decision. It's just sometimes you race with idiots, and maybe it was my fault for putting myself back in that scenario with people that manipulate races, but I can't think about that. I would much rather be on offense in that scenario because, like I said, I was able to get up there. I just didn't have enough time once I got back up to the front two. I had a nose inside Carson going into Maggots and Beckett's, but I wasn't ahead of him, so I had to lift. So it just is what it is. It's a long season. I've been able to be consistent despite the setbacks, and we'll just hopefully everything works out with Capitan, and we can go on to next week.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, still keeping that consistent podium streak up of finishing on the podium of all races this year. How are you feeling next week at Monaco?
Oh, God.
You think you
I don't know.
Bring it again?
Well, yeah, I hope so. Just got to keep it clean. Hopefully we can go green to the end. I don't think that's going to happen just because of how Monaco is as a track. So, just keep it clean. And the biggest thing is qualifying. My God, I've been good at getting poles the last few weeks. So I definitely have to do that. And then just stay in first, and hopefully nothing stupid happens.
All right. Well, I know it's not the result you wanted, but still good nonetheless. Good luck for next week. We will move on
Thanks,
to
bud.
the AlphaTauri of Carson, P number 2. You also had a little spin before, I think around lap 20-ish, I'd say, give or take. Was it an error by yourself? Was there any contact? What happened in that spin to start us off?
First of all, nothing went to plan at all. The whole thing.
Sorry,
but you're it was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. But the one you're talking about, it was on the virtual safety car restart, I think, and I had a nice big run on JNB, and I just missed my braking zone like just a little bit, and I got upside of him, and I just tapped him, and then that just sent me around. So then I was like, just trotting around P3 until that late safety car. But that was that was like one of the least of my worries, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. What else went wrong? Tell me about it.
Oh well, so in qualifying, I timed it perfectly. I crossed the line at like 3 seconds left or whatever, and I invalidated on the last corner before uh, the front stretch before the line. So I invalidated my next lap. And I ran that lap out, and I was 0.6 ahead in pole, which was really frustrating. And then start the race, I forgot to put down my tire temps. So on my medium stint, I was running hot, like really hot. I was babying the car so much. Like I had to like lift and coast in some of the corners because otherwise my car would just spin. I was running 213, 214 in the rears. It was a nightmare. So I just couldn't wait to get on the medium or the hards. And at the last safety car, I knew I couldn't go to softs because I just overheat and spin. So I had to stay out no matter what. But if I didn't have that tire issue, I definitely would have gone on the softs. But I don't know. Starting 11th or 12th or whatever is to get second it's pretty good, but I think there's definitely a lot more on the table today. But
all right. You also pitted and came out actually ahead of JMB in that sequence because he had issues with contact with your teammate. He had a pretty healthy dive down the inside because your tire temps probably weren't up to par. Talk us through that little excitement, little battle.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting. I think I must have gained like 3 seconds or so in that pit stop exchange. So I was surprised to be in front of him, and then he lunged it on me the first corner when I had cold hard, so he just got right away. But I was sticking with him and keeping a lot of ERS, and he ended up blinking. So I had like 60 ERS or something. So I was sitting pretty, but then that virtual came out, and then I kind of took myself out, just being over aggressive.
Yeah, well, good stuff. Congrats on the podium. This is also before, so you never know. Second is always a fun spot when you're clean, and the leader might have some issues. You never know. You might be able to steal this thing. Not the way you want to do it, but it happens. It could happen. Nonetheless, good stuff. We'll see you next week at Monaco.
Thanks, man.
All right, and we'll go to the Haas driver of JNB. Eventful race for you. You had a good start to the race, leading most of it. You had a little bit of contact in the pit sequence. We didn't really get to see it fully, but talk us through that contact with Toblerone once again.
So my tires were like very cold because I just got out of the pits. So like I couldn't really brake that good, so there was contact made with Toblerone right there.
And how'd you feel with the pace in the first half of it? You had a nice start to the race, and you were able to kind of just manage it from there, it seemed.
Yeah, it was like a nice race. I felt good on the medium tires. They were like very quick. It had like a lot of grip, and I pulled away with that gap.
And when that contact happened with Toblerone, which is one more thing to go back on that, did you think that was it for your chance to win, or you had a nice gap that you opened up? It must have, I guess, helped you with what you did earlier on in the race.
I thought that contact would have been raced over for me for the victory, but I like fought back and then did some clean overtaking, bunch of battling. And it was like overall a good race, but chaotic at the same time.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I like that. And at the end there, the safety car came out. What were your initial thoughts? Did you say maybe you want to come in and put some soft tires on, or you said, I know you obviously stood out, but what went through your decision making there?
Well, because there was like a couple more laps. There was like 3 or 2 more laps, and I didn't want to risk losing positions and then fight back through the field. So that's why I stayed out on the hard tires and push with them again.
Nice. All right. Well, I don't know. You think you think you'll keep this one? You think you'll be penalty free? I don't know. The only thing that seemed could have been that contact, but I don't know. I guess you'd be the judge. The stewards would be the judge. But oh, what did I do here? What was that? But you think you think you'll be able to hold on to this one, or you just you'll submit if you need to and see what happens?
I don't really know. I don't know if I'm going to get penalized for that, or I just don't know. But I just got to look back into that.
Yeah, you look back at it. Well, nonetheless, it was still good. And hey, I know you're pretty new to this, and you've been doing pretty good out there, controlling some good races. And over time, you'll gain a lot more experience that way. So, just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll see you next week for Monaco. And that's going to do it for post-race interviews. I just wanted to say one thing to close out. I do see a comment here from El Capitan. I don't know if you're still watching, but not trying to point any fault your way. I only say what I say in the commentaries when I see it the first time. But I always preface it by saying, you always have to look back at it and to look to see what truly happened, because it was right in the moment. Not putting a circle around you saying you definitely did anything manipulative. But it could seem that way. But then again, I don't think anyone has ill intentions, so don't take it so much like that. There are times to make errors and mistakes, and that stuff can happen. And if it does get submitted, they go the steward's route, and it is what it is. And at the end of the day, I think then we'll just move on, and this is no big deal really. So hope everybody can just keep that in the back of their minds, as it was a really great race, but chaotic at the same time. And we'll end it there with JMB. It has a quote right there. I love it because it really did capture everything. This was the British Grand Prix for round number 6 of the Silver class here, and as always in Season 15. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching this one on your Tuesday evening. Don't forget, Golden class tomorrow, Platinum class on Thursday. Don't forget to show your support for TCR. Check the description for more information. We'll see you tomorrow, and until then, have a good night everybody. From Seafreeze to TCR, we'll see you then.